The Joy Perspective, the podcast where I share life's challenges, things I've learned through years of personal development, and help others shift their perspective and find their joy. I'm Lauren Valdez, and together we'll dive into how changing the way we think can unlock possibilities, spark creativity, and transform the everyday. Let's dive in. Hi, friends. Welcome to today's episode of The Joy Perspective. Today is one where I'm putting my heart on the table and really just speaking from the heart, but also with some notes that I've written as part of my confession. You can have the best of intentions. You can even think that you planned or prepared, and you can still lose the best parts of you along the way. And so today I'm bringing you my confession, and I can already feel myself getting choked up. So here we go. Bear with me. So for months now, I've been pouring every ounce of me into my work, and I know it. I've been giving my very best to my teachers and my students, making sure they had what they needed. I was going the extra mile. I was working late nights. I was really making sure that every student had a chance to succeed. And what did that come at the expense of? I was working 14-hour days most of the days throughout the last 2-3 months, answering late night texts, spending weekends problem solving instead of resting or relaxing with my family. I even broke one of our cardinal rules in our house: no phones at the table. But I had teachers who were reaching out and asking me questions, and I knew students were on the other end of these questions. And so even with the best of intentions, I still let it get me. And in the cracks between my work, don't get me wrong, in the cracks between my work, I was trying to give my kids every bit of my attention and energy because it was their summer and I wanted to be a part of it. I wanted to do things fun with them. I wanted to take them to the splash pad. And so amongst my 14-hour days, I found the cracks of my time given to my kids. And in doing all of that, I've given my friends and my family nothing but the scraps. A text, maybe, here or there. The ones who carried me in this season, I could barely give my love and my attention to. The people who love me the most. And lately, there's been nothing left. To my sweet, dear husband, when you watch this and read this, it's been a rough couple months. But I love you. Whew. All right, let's talk about the shift. So I know that I'm not the only one. I know I'm not the only one that's been there, caught between wanting to serve others, needing to serve yourself. And it's hard. It's hard to know where pouring into others and prioritizing yourself begins. Because here's the truth. Giving to others is beautiful and wonderful, and serving others is what we're called to do. But when you give until you're empty, that's the slow erosion of your soul, of your being, of who you are. And I caught myself this summer falling into that. So today I'm choosing grace. Grace for the version of me that tried to be everything for everyone. Grace for the woman who thought love and worthiness had to be earned through overextension. Grace for the human who forgot that she too is allowed to rest and to set boundaries. Grace looks like pausing. It looks like answering the phone when my sister calls, and not with a rushed, I can't talk right now, but providing her the space to hear what she has to say and not trying to respond before she's even said what she's going to say. It looks like saying no without guilt. It looks like remembering when my worth is not in my productivity, but in my presence. And although I found myself working really, really hard for my teachers and my students, and I will tell you, I am proud of that work because it did make the difference for them. But the part that I'm not proud of, the part that hurts, is that I gave everything that I had
to my work and not to the people that really matter. All for the sake of serving others and providing my best. So if you're listening to this right now and your calendar is bursting at the seams, if you've been running on fumes, trying to meet everybody else's need, I want you to hear me. You're worth showing up for two. You're worth slowing down. You know, I almost wish I would have seen this a little sooner. But when you're so in the thick of it, when you're so in the throes of it and you're pouring everything and you're like, wait, but I could just get this done. And then I could just, so much so that I was texting families like, hey, your student's going to be ineligible for this. And then an hour later, following up, going back in, checking their classes. And then, hey, they still haven't started. And then mom would get on the kid and they would start to do their work again. But I was sitting there monitoring something that the student should have been responsible for themselves. Monitoring something that the parent, I had already sent the first communication. I didn't need to do the extra step. Did it pay off? Did that kid get eligible? Yes. But at the expense of the ones that I love. You're allowed to slow down. You're allowed to set boundaries. You're allowed to put yourself on that list of priorities. And when you can't do it perfectly, when the pendulum swings too far like it did for me, there's grace. There's always grace. So right now I'm going to try to not beat myself up too much for pouring too much of my soul into my work. This week, I'm choosing to let grace guide me back to harmony, not back to balance. I don't know if I can ever truly achieve balance or if I ever truly want to achieve balance, but a harmony in all the things. I know there's going to be seasons where work is busier. I know there's going to be seasons where family is busier. I know there's going to be seasons where it's all busy, and I find that harmony in that time. And so this week, I'm going to choose grace. And I hope you do too. I hope when you find yourself in these situations that you recognize it sooner than I did. It's starting to come to the close of my kids' summer. And I'm like, oh, it hit me hard. I don't want them to go back to school. I want to have more days and times with them. But at this point, I'm going to choose grace for myself. I'm going to go take these babies to SeaWorld. And I'm going to take them ice skating because that's what they want to do. And I'm going to take them to the beach. But I'm also going to give myself grace in this time.
Thank you for joining me today on The Joy Perspective. I hope this episode helped you shift your mindset and find a little bit more joy in your life. If you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to subscribe so you never miss one. And don't forget to follow me on Instagram at Lauren Valdez for more inspiration and updates. I'd love to hear your thoughts and connect with you. Until next time, keep shifting your perspective and finding your joy.